Hello, good morning. So it's Good Friday today. That is a really big day in the bakery calendar. The Saturday of the Easter weekend is such a busy day in here. So it's 6:30 in the morning now and I'm here till tomorrow. I think there's going to be an awful lot of bread to make between now and then. So if you're into watching somebody make a lot of bread, and specifically a lot of hot cross buns, and also if you're into watching anybody really suffer, then stick around. I think this may be the first of several visits to the coffee machine today. So if you can hear that terrible clunking of the mixer, that's on my list of things to do. Basically the main drive in this, there's a shaft that runs through and drives the arms. It's got clay in it, it knocks back and forward. We want some little shims put in there, but somehow I never seem to get around to doing it. So I've got some croissants here that I made and baked yesterday, and I'm going to stuff them with the almond cream I've just made to make almond croissants. to be enough mixture? I hope so. Is there going to be enough for the last one? Yeah, easy. These now go into the fridge overnight and then they get baked off again in the morning. So obviously they're already cooked, so they only need about like 25 minutes at a very low temperature just to cook through the filling inside. Okay, so next up I've got bread rolls to do. Quite a lot of them. So the plan for these is to keep them as fresh as possible. I'm going to make them up and shape them into rolls and then put them in the fridge and hold them probably till like early in the morning, tomorrow morning. So let's say I start baking them off at like maybe it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and that gives them enough time to cool down because I have to bag them up.
So the only options for me, as I studied how to respond to Vietnam, was I didn't want to pretend I had bone spurs or run away to Canada or anything like that. And I studied Tolstoy and Gandhi and nonviolent resistance, and decided that the thing that I would do would be to not. And how are they doing long-term problems? Because there's no good reason at all, other than the drug abuse. It's illegal in the United States. And it's not a drug abuse. It helps treat drug abuse, but it is legal in Mexico and in Canada. And so, just the day before, I had done a matching grant offer, $10,000 for a $20,000 study. And I said, Michael, would you be willing to match this? And he said, sure, yeah. I said, great, now we're going to have this. What else do you have? And I was like, well, okay, if you want to know more, I'd say the most difficult thing for us to fund, the most idealistic thing we're doing, this was at the time, was we're trying to start research in Jordan. You know, we have research in Israel, we have research in Canada, we have research, but we've no research in the Arab countries. And I thought, if we could do something in Jordan, and I have incredible connections in Jordan with the mayor of Amman, whose son-in-law actually had found LSD helpful for cluster headaches. And well, they're not treated as humans. They don't get really access to treatment. We just punish. So our goal is to make drug users, particularly these people, feel worse, so they're an example. then nobody will want to do it. But that's not a really good example. People won't do that. So I think this idea of the more dangerous the drug, the more important it is that it be legal, I think makes a lot of sense. And we need to really offer to demand and to support and and they discovered that they were mistakenly given and at the bottom, or if they did, I'll find out the letter. It was, and that's why they knocked off the thing. And that's why they
Was there a point in history when no one felt anything at all, and then suddenly a non-feeling mother gave birth to a creature with the ability to feel? My intuition tells me that the precise definition of feeling would need to be deciphered, that there were organisms that soared the curve of Africa or told incredible stories from non-hidden African tribes of dwarf people with tails, who were excellent elephant hunters due to their extraordinary power to make themselves invisible. When the white man and the pygmies finally did meet, the previous hostility exhibited by the pygmies toward outsiders proved justified. The explorers treated the pygmies like animals from far-off land would cross the ocean and aid a visit. These sailors came from a common one. Many Euro-Americans were more than willing to become Indians. Franklin supplied this example. He had heard of a person who had been captured by the Indians, lived with them for a few years, and was later rescued by his own people. He returned home to a sizable estate. Wealthy, free from care, back among friends, this man would surely want to remain. It's better to take a 50-50 chance at staying alive than a slow and painful death at the hands of Mother Nature. He stepped onto the path. The path led to the Typee village. Today, Herman Melville is best known as the author of the literary classic Moby Dick. During his life, however, he was known as the man who lived among the cannibals. The tale of his time spent with these savages offers a glimpse into daily human life before the intrusion of life in the valley. One of Corey's duties was to carry Melville, who had injured his leg during his escape, through the jungle on his back wherever he went. In fact, Melville was treated so well that he worried that the Typee might be fattening him up for the kill. Not to worry, they told him. He would not be eaten. And blew over the houses in the village. The Piraha sat and watched as their homes turned from beautiful dwellings into scattered debris. The Piraha laugh about everything. They laugh when they catch no fish. This pervasive happiness is hard to explain, and health, while in their congenial presence. Most advanced gurus. I know families in which almost every adult member enjoys these qualities so very rare in civilization. What is going on here? Why do people who have been denied the comforts of modern society enjoy a lifestyle that provides more happiness than those in wealthy, highly developed industrial societies? And what does this tell us about human happiness? To unravel this mystery, we need to understand what I call the beautiful truth. To the outside world, such magic amulets were of no use. The Waorani quickly succumbed to the diseases of the First World. Not having any knowledge of germs and pathogens, they blamed these illnesses on the curses of neighboring shamans. This led to a series of wars and revenge killings.
Yeah, so as the evening wears on, you might sort of understand why I'm not a huge fan of Easter. It's not really one of the times of year that I look forward to. That and Christmas specifically, terribly busy days in the bakery world, and it's just always such an absolute mission. Anyway, it's got to be done, so let's crack on. We've got a lot of hot cross buns to do, a lot, like more than I've ever done before, I think. And I'm now 13 hours in, so I'm starting to flag just a little bit. Hopefully I'm going to get a second win through the night. That's what usually happens. And to be honest, I've got to, I need to have a second or maybe a third win because I've got to serve in the shop tomorrow as well. So there's not as many hot cross buns as I hoped there might be. I'm kind of thinking I might have to make another batch, which I really don't want to do.
What if you were still in that relationship and never pursued? I think it should be eliminated. I really do. I don't like it at all. I don't think there's ever a time that they should stand people up. I don't think there's ever a time they should separate someone if they got someone pressed up against the cage.
This is the bit I hate most. Squeezing on this bloody paste. So I actually tried to make a new sort of paste today, and I put a little bit of sourdough into the mixture just to see what would happen, thinking it might make it easier, and it really hasn't. But I'm sort of so far in now that I'm not going to stop and start again, so I'm just going to try and make the most of it. But it's awful to squeeze out the bloody bag. All I use for the paste normally is just plain flour and like a bit of oil. I put a bit of oil in there to make it a little bit more elastic, and I use warm water and just give it a really good beating, and it becomes quite elastic. That's what you want. You want quite an elastic paste. I don't know why I was messing around taking chances today, though. It's stupid. Not really a day for experimenting today. If you want to actually see how to make hot cross buns, I did do a video with a recipe. I'll put a link in the description. They're not my best work ever, I must admit, like, but they'll do. They're gonna have to do because I'm not doing them again. I would like them to be aesthetically perfect, and my crossing paste wasn't very good there. It was too slack, and it sort of run a little bit. It doesn't look very distinct, and well, whatever. I must be getting tired. My decision making is not the greatest. So I went in the fridge looking for tomato sauce, and I came back with a massive can of lager. I think I'm going to be... I don't think it's going to make it any worse. It tastes like nectar from the heavens. Oh well, no coffee then. I hit the wall for a bit there, mind. I lost all my coordination and I kept bumping into things, and it was making me really angry. That's the other thing about staying up all night. It makes you really emotional. So I was totally, like, a few minutes ago I was hating my life, I was hating my circumstances, and I was swearing I'm never ever doing this again. And that is actually a valid point though. If any of my customers are actually end up watching this, customers from the bakery, I hope you know I'm never doing this again. I'm not doing this to myself anymore. I've been doing this here for like 10 years now. You know, on like stupid like special occasions like Christmas and Easter. And I always get over the bar, no matter how high the bar is set, no matter how much work there's to do, no matter how many orders there are, I always manage to pull it off, just by hook or by crook. But I tell you what is in the future, I've had enough. There's only so many times you can go to the well before the well's dry. baking in here during the pandemic, that nearly killed me. Basically what happened was in my town where I am, there's another couple of bakeries. Well, during the pandemic they closed down, and basically I got all of their customers plus my own, and I think for a while I was the only shop that was actually open. So it was day after day after day of absolute torture. Literally it was like Christmas Eve every single day, and I worked like a lunatic with 2 torn rotator cuffs in both my shoulders. Yeah, I think I've been to the well too many times now. Like, these night shifts are killers. So this is probably going to be it was a 6:30 start. This is going to be like a 32-hour shift, and I don't want to do these anymore.
I'm saying $2 billion. What do you think, James? They won those artists. Look, meanwhile, that's 4th amongst the biggest social media networks globally. So what's number 1? Facebook's number 1, 2.9 billion. YouTube is 2.0. I don't really consider YouTube so. I don't think that's social media. Yeah. Instagram 2.35. TikTok's only 1 billion. That's interesting. I would have thought it was way. Yeah.
So here we are, there's the hot cross buns out the oven. So, I mean, they're perfect in every way except the crosses aren't very distinct. Which would be fine to a normal person, but that kills me. I'm looking at them and that absolutely kills me. Like, the fact that they're not perfect. It makes me want to like start over and do it all over again. I'm not going to. I'm going to resist the urge to be so stupid. And you know what it is? It's just the way it is. They haven't got very distinct crosses. So be it. They're still the tastiest hot cross buns around.
It does not make sense to have in there. It's like, you'll see guys get knocked down and win the round. You know, it's like, well, how hurt was he on that knockdown? Everybody knows. I always got 10 rounds, won that round. That is not the case in boxing and the
Listen to the crust crackling. That's the bread singing.
It's so grueling for you that no one can fight full blast. You know, so you have to pace yourself. You have to
It's just, you're asking so much of the body to be able to do that. I can't go back and whistle.
Like the most fascinating thing to me about the Russians is that, you know, like
I've just walked in the fridge to get some bread out and put it in the oven, and I've walked straight into a bloody tray, and it's got us right in the forehead. And you think, oh my fucking god, is that really necessary? Is it not suffering enough?
Just someone in the audience.
I don't like most art. I don't like most of my art, but yeah, yeah, I mean,
easily do like that.
back to like the classics and stuff that is nostalgic or that. And I'm like, fuck God, fuck religion, fuck, but that's like now I've gone the other side towards Satan. I'm like, I'm a loving person. Like I was telling you, like.
Well, I've made it through the night. I'll tell you what it was hard going in the early wee small hours. Like I lost all motivation and I was pretty much ready to chuck the towel in. However, I've made it and I've got the bread done. That's the orders written out, so hopefully everybody gets what they want. That's the biggest fear of the day like this, when people put orders in, they've all got family round. They put so much pressure on themselves to make sure everything's perfect. Anyway, we've got loads of pastries, we've got loads of pies and pasties, we've got plenty of sourdough, hopefully. I've got it all over the place. The white sourdough's come out really nicely. Stupidly, this tray here, I forgot to slash. Put it in without slashing, that's because I was half asleep. Hopefully we should have plenty. We've got loads of croissants, pain au chocolat, plenty of white buns, millions of scones, millions of sourdough loaves, and these loaves here are what's left after all the orders have been taken care of, I think. So hopefully that'll be something for everybody. Oh right, well it's now, what time is it now? That clock's an hour slow, so it's 6:25 now. I've got time to go upstairs and have a shower and try and wake myself up a bit because I feel absolutely knackered. I'm getting too old for this.